Buongiorno, and welcome to another exciting edition of Meet Your Neighbor. My name is Ron Falconi. I had this idea back in the fall of 2006 where I wanted to invite local politicians, local business people, so all of you could come down here and meet your neighbor. We have a return guest to the show. He is a councilman from the city of Ward 1 and my colleague on City Council, and you guys know him and love him as Chuck Ricco. Councilman Ricco, welcome back to Meet Your Neighbor.
Thank you. Glad to be on again.
Hey, Councilman, can you tell us something about yourself that not too many people know about you?
I sure could.
Okay.
But you said these were going to be easy questions. So, something that nobody else knows about me. I guess I could say I am very handy. I put an addition on the back of my house myself.
Oh, wow.
I'm an avid hunter. I'm an NRA member. And I like to be outdoors.
So you're like an outdoors type of person?
As much as I could be, yes.
Okay. Hey, where do you live and how long have you lived there?
I live in Brunswick, Ohio. And
I hope you live in Brunswick.
Absolutely. I live at 181 Betty Lane. I've lived there for going on 8 years now. Me and my wife bought the house when we first got married. We moved in there, and it's the first house we've bought, and hopefully we could be there for a long time.
That's good. Okay, you mentioned your wife. What's her name?
My wife's name is Misty.
Okay, and how'd you guys meet?
We actually met in church.
Oh, okay.
We went to Sunday school together when we were about that tall, you know, and we were in young kids, and we just knew each other as kids. She went away to college, you know, and she came back, I guess. We started talking and, you know, hanging out, I guess, and before we knew it, I was married.
That's cool. Do you and Missy have any kids?
Yes, we have 2 kids,
Okay.
Adam and Allison.
Okay, great. Hey, Chuck, how long have you been a councilman now?
This will be my 4th year.
Your 4th year.
My 4th year.
Okay, and can you refresh our memories? What does a councilman do?
Well, a councilman is kind of a liaison between the people and the city.
Okay.
We represent residents. I'm in Ward 1, so I represent all the people of Ward 1. So if they have questions or problems or things that just can't get resolved or questions they may have, a councilman is someone who could help resolve those issues and you know, kind of guide the city manager as to what direction to take the city.
Okay. And can you also tell the people where is Ward 1 here in Brunswick?
Ward 1 is
It's like close to like the eastern part of the city, right?
Yeah, it's the side closest to Hinckley, so it'd be all of 130th, kind of like down Boston to North Carpenter,
Okay.
down to South Carpenter, that area there.
Okay. And then, as you know, being on council, you're on certain council committees.
I am on certain council.
Can you tell the people who are watching right now in Brunswick, Brunswick Hills, or, you know, the show is also being shown down in the southern part of the county on WCTV down in Wandsworth. Can you tell them, just refresh memories, what council committees you're on?
Sure. As a councilman, we serve on 3 committees. I chair the safety committee.
Okay.
I also sit on building and building code, and the services, utilities, technology, and cable committee.
Oh, that's a mouthful right
That's
there.
a mouthful. That's the 3rd committee I sit on, yes.
Now, being as the chairman of safety committee, what things are you working on in the committee right now? I know I am one of your
Right.
member in the committee, but maybe tell everyone what's going on right now.
All right, the safety committee encompasses anything that has to do with safety, obviously. So anything with the police department and the fire department, we would typically they would go through us first, and we would present that to the rest of council. Also, there would be the big issue we're working on right now is the snow plowing issue. So there's always an issue at town center where the plow truck drivers plow the snow into the crosswalk in front of fire hydrants, and it creates a big hazard. People trying to walk around the snow mounds.
Yes.
So what we did is there's actually a piece of legislation that's hopefully going to be passed pretty soon here.
It's great.
It's going to stop snowplow drivers from putting snow in those crosswalks. So when you're trying to cross the street in the town center or in any shopping center, you won't have to worry about walking around snow mounds. It'll be an open area, so you won't have to worry about dodging cars.
That's great, and especially now. Yeah, I remember talking about that in committee, so that's something that hopefully should help the.
I hate to talk about snow in the middle of the summer, but hey, it's got to get done. So I think it'll be good.
Chuck, what do you feel has been your biggest accomplishment so far on City Council?
I think I have a lot of accomplishments. First of all, above and beyond everything, I think one of the biggest things is having the people continually tell me how good of a job I'm doing. I know I get a lot of criticism, but it's those few people who send a thank you letter, or who call me up, or I see them in the store and just say, thank you, you're doing a good job. So I think that's an accomplishment in and of itself. But
That's true.
in addition, I've gotten a lot of projects done.
Okay.
One of the biggest projects, even when I was campaigning, people would talk about the water issues on Oakley, Ashley, and Brierley.
Ashley, Brierley, and Oakley. I remember that.
Right.
Yes.
So that was kind of a twofold project. We got the storm sewer projects done and the roads repaved, completely tore out and repaved.
Yes.
And that was great. That was a huge accomplishment, I thought, that happened.
That was one of the first things that we worked on. I remember you were asking for assistance on that, and I know we worked together on that issue.
Yeah, you were a great help in that too. That was one of the first things that I got done on council.
Yes.
To help. Also, North Carpenter got widened closer to 303. Got a turning lane put in there, completely tore out, repaved, and then there was 2 phases to that project. So that got
Phase 1 occurred, when was that, maybe a couple of years ago or something?
a couple of years ago, and the second phase got finished then and expanded a little bit further.
Correct.
The other thing I got done on Hadcock and Grafton, there was a turning lane put in. It's got completed now, so thank God, because that was a dangerous intersection. It was a nightmare. So that got completed. The second phase of that project is almost complete, and the third phase should be starting up pretty soon.
Okay.
And I have to say, I didn't do it all by myself. Obviously, we never do any projects by ourselves. But
That's true.
It's the issue of keeping it in front of the city manager, keeping it in front of the council people, letting them know that these issues exist, so that when money comes available or when we have projects that up and coming, by having these projects well known by everybody else, it's easier to get them pushed through.
Okay. Okay. Now, Chuck, can you go over what are some important issues facing the city of Brunswick right now? I know there's a lot.
There's the number one. I got to say the roads.
Okay.
We currently have a tax initiative on the ballot right now, and that's got to be the number one issue, because if we want to keep being a good city, we got to keep attracting more businesses to the city. We want to keep the residents happy, without getting bent rims and flat tires. We got to keep the roads repaired, and it's a big issue because we never had a funding source in line before, and we're trying to get a funding source in line now.
Okay.
This tax initiative.
Okay.
And I got to say, that is an issue that's near and dear to my heart, I guess, because I, too, got a flat tire going down Pro Road about 6 months ago. So I had to change the tire in the parking lot, and I couldn't get the rim off, and it was a real pain. So.
Oh, jeez.
I'm out there with the rest of you guys.
Now, Chuck, I know you're involved in another show here on the Bat. Can you kind of elaborate on that?
Another show? Yes, I'm also involved in a show called
Brunswick Today. No.
Yeah,
What's that about?
Well, when I first got on council, one thing I told myself I didn't want to do was I didn't want to go out and be that person who knocks on someone's door and they only see me during election time. So what I did is I started to attend meetings and clubs and activities and try to get out and just to be in front of the people all the time and always be available and accessible to them. I found that to be very difficult because there was always the same small group of people coming out. So I held a town meeting once.
I remember that.
Yeah, I held a town meeting, and it was actually very well turned out. A lot of people showed up, and I thought, this is great. So the following month, I did another one, and the turnout was 2. So it was very small, and they had no issues, they had no questions, they had no problems. They just wanted to come out and kind of see what, what everyone else had to say. So that didn't work out too good. I thought maybe it was just an off month, and I tried it again for a 3rd time, and nobody showed up at all. So I thought, okay, this isn't going to work. What's something else we could do? And I knew you do this show, and I knew you were on TV a lot, and I know that the Bat's available resource. So I called you up, and I said, here's an idea I kind of have, and together we kind of tweak the show. We give 3 10-minute segments where we inform the residents of what's going on in the city. We interview somebody and let them know.
Like an up close or something like that.
And up close, so they could kind of see people they don't normally see and kind of get the roles of what's going on in the city.
Right.
And then we try to do an activity or a group or a club or something else, just to kind of keep the residents informed.
How many shows did we do already? Maybe about.
I believe we taped our 16th show.
Okay. Okay. Wonderful.
That would be over a year's worth of taping.
I know. Hey, and Chuck, I know that I have a couple of photos here. Maybe we can run those and see give me your opinion on that.
Hey, look at that.
Wow. Handsome guy there on the far left.
Yeah. Good thing you didn't catch my bald spots. I'm happy for that.
Yeah, I think this is one of our shows at St. Ambrose. Here's another one.
Oh, yes. The parade.
The parade. This was I think it was the 2011 parade.
Right.
Yeah. That was again
there we go.
Another parade.
Yep. Wasn't the camera supposed to take 10 pounds off?
Oh, jeez. Oh, there's your lovely wife and kids.
The wife and the kids.
There.
was aboard Lolly the Trolley. My son still talks about that to this day, and that was like, oh, there they are again.
There's your kids. No, your
Well,
kids are a lot bigger now, I know.
They get yes, and they grow up very fast. Yes.
Oh, I can imagine. No, Chuck, you know, as you know, council is just a part-time job.
Right.
So what is your daytime job?
I am a senior programmer analyst at Parma Hospital.
Okay.
And what that means is it's easier to say I just do computers. Because if I tried to explain what I did and how I did it, you still wouldn't get it. So I do computer work at Parma Hospital.
Okay, okay. And Chuck, what are some of the things that you like to do for fun? I know you alluded to that earlier.
Yeah, obviously I like to be outside. I like to hunt. I like to fish, and I like to be outside. I like to build things, you know, woodworking things. It's another one of my hobbies that I like to do. So
That's nice.
Any kind of things like that. And obviously I play on the computer a lot. So I'm a computer guy.
You're an IT guy, so I
I'm
would
an
kind of
IT guy,
expect that
so-
you would.
Right. So anytime I get on the computer, I'm on the computer as well. Playing with the kids and the family is also something that I squeeze in there, but
That's good.
it's something I like to do as well.
Hey, Chuck, for every guest on the show, as you know, I like to play a game of fill in the blank. Okay.
Okay.
This is kind of like a new question that I have here. If I could have dinner with one person, the present or the past, that would be blank.
That would be Jules Verne.
Jules Verne.
Jules Verne.
Why would it be Jules Verne?
He wrote my favorite book, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
Oh,
I've read the book numerous times. I love the book. I think he was a man who was way ahead of his time. In the 1800s, he's talking about submarines that didn't even exist.
wow.
He was a very scientific person, I guess.
Uh-huh.
You know, I got a scientific mind myself a little bit, but he was an inventor, and I could kind of relate to what he was talking about. And writing these books in the 1800s and being almost spot on with everything he wrote was amazing to me. Yeah.
Hey, Chuck, what about?
I got to say that when he wrote that, when I was reading the 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea for the very first time, I didn't realize the year it was written. I didn't realize it was written way back in the 1800s.
Oh, you thought it was like written whenever you read it?
50s or 40s or something, I thought. And I'm reading it, I'm like, why doesn't he just say it's a submarine? And then I realized, wait a minute, submarines didn't exist back then. So
Oh, that's interesting.
it was cool.
Hey, what about my favorite food is blank?
Because I am Italian, I would say any food that is Italian.
Are you Italian?
I am Italian.
Chuck, you know how much I love Italians, and
You even got a last name that sounds Italian.
I know. Can you believe that? And all my viewers know that I just love Italy. So
You've been there many times, which is a place I'd always like to see too.
that brings my next question.
Uh-oh.
The one place I want to travel to is blank.
Italy
Italy,
or Sicily. I guess I'd say Sicily.
Sicily.
My dad was born in
Oh,
Sicily.
he was.
Born in Sicily, and he always talked about how you know, the grapes grew and they'd climb the fig trees,
Oh,
and
that's nice.
you know, you see those movies where people are in the barrel stepping on the grapes, and he said he actually did that. He said, yes, that's the real thing. And he talks about, you know, the town that he grew up in. I thought
Oh, wow.
would always be cool to go back and to see it. So one day I would love to go to Sicily.
I've never been to Sicily before, but I would love to go one day.
Right.
Wow.
Maybe we'll schedule a trip and we'll go.
I think we should, Chuck. Hey, do you have any neighborly advice to people who are watching right now in Brunswick, Brunswick Hills, Wadsworth Township, or maybe just people watching on the internet right now?
You know, I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again. Being a good person, you know, just do things that you find right. My neighbor is always very neighborly. He sees us cutting the grass, and he'll see sticks in my yard. He'll come over, he'll pick them up. He'll see me trimming the bushes, and he'll bring over a garbage can, help me clean them up. Just being a good neighbor. You know, I walk down the street and I see a newspaper, whatever, and they're outside. I'll walk the newspaper up. Just being nice to your neighbors, just being courteous to the people around you, because being on council, I never realized how many people actually have a problem with their neighbors, and I could see how difficult it is. So, you know, being a good person makes the whole community better.
That's true.
We have a good name right now. I think people see Brunswick and they hear good things about us, and you know, let's keep that tradition up.
I think we should. Chuck Ricco, Councilman, City of Brunswick, Ward 1. Thanks for coming down again.
Thanks for having me, Ron. I appreciate it.
My name is Ron Falconi. I am the host of Meet Your Neighbor, and I wanted to thank Brunswick City Councilman Chuck Ricco for coming down to the studios again just to chat with us and tell us about the great things that are happening right here in the city. My name is Ron Falconi. I am signing off.